Alright, hey guys, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but this is gonna be a mini Pyke guide for patch S1.3. It's gonna be for support, by the way. So this patch, let me see, the only things that will affect Pyke, like directly, would be Blood Song nerf. I think instead of 10 seconds proc, it'll be 8 seconds. Let me check. Or is that damage? Okay, Blood Song. Okay, yeah. So instead of 10% damage, it'll be 8%, and then the duration will go from 6 to 4 seconds. These two changes aren't exactly Pyke related, but they could be. They're buffing electrocute, so early damage and later damage. Uh, so I just be doing more damage across the board here. And they're also buffing Dark Harvest, also more damage, more base damage and more damage per soul. Uh, but yeah, these two aren't common for Pyke support, but I can see it being viable. I don't know if it's better than Hello Blades, especially since Hello Blades was also buffed. So now Hello Blades will do more attack speed and the cooldown will go down as well, which is very nice, especially the cooldown. I can see the attack speed being very nice as well, actually. But I don't think I played a game and I didn't quite feel the attack speed, but the cooldown you'll definitely be very nice. And that's about it for the patch notes. As for runes, which is more important here, this is the rune page I've been running for Pyke support. Hell Blades, obviously it's a staple for Pyke support right now. You could see Electrocute Pyke support, maybe Dark Harvest Pyke support, but I think Hella Blades would just be the uh, most consistent pick. So I'll stick with Hella Blades for now. I might try Dark Harvest or Electrocute later, but it's Hella Blades with Sudden Impact. Sudden Impact, just more damage throughout the game. I go Sixth Sense because I do this strategy where as soon as the game starts, I use my ward in the middle brush of bot lane. Then I immediately recall for Oracle Lens. This leaves my Oracle Lens on cooldown, so having Sixth Sense to detect if like the lane brush is warded or not is very vital for me. This is the main reason I run Sixth Sense, but Sixth Sense can also be very useful just in detecting wards that you would otherwise have no means of detecting. It also reveals wards at level 11 so you can clear it, which is definitely nice, but I feel like it'll be not as useful once you get Umbral Glaive if you do go Umbral Glaive. The other option would be Deep Ward. I don't think Grizzly Mementos is that good, but yeah. The reason I don't think Grizzly Mementos is that good because Pyke can just recall easily to refill his wards, especially mid late game for a support item. So you'll be like replacing your wards very frequently. And as for Oracle Lens cooldown, or like whatever you have on your trinket slot, that could be nice, but I think it's just overkill, especially it's just your Pyke, right? You can dodge vision, you'll probably be going Umbro. It's just overkill. But whereas Deep Ward can be nice, um, just to give enemies a harder time clearing your wards. But for me, I'll recommend Sixth Sense just for my general playstyle. And then lastly, for the domination tree, I've decided that Ulti Hunter is just the best and most consistent for Pyke support. And let me explain. So Treasure Hunter will give you bonus gold, which means you will hit power spikes faster and you will indirectly do more damage, which will cause you to, which should cause you to snowball better. But in theory, the extra gold doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter that much. Yes, you'll get your items faster, but you could also uh, be going more gold efficient items in that case. Because when compared to Ulti Hunter, you'll have your R down faster, which means you'll have more opportunity to execute more people, which indirectly means more gold as well. So when you put it in that perspective, having your R up more is just better because you'll win more team fights. You'll have more opportunities to, kill the enemy, which in return will help you snowball so much more than just a few gold from Treasure Hunter. Another reason why I feel like Ulti Hunter is better than Treasure Hunter is because in combination with Jack of all trades here, the ability haste will make Ulti Hunter feel extremely low cooldown. Whereas if you don't go Jack of all trades, I feel like Ulti Hunter is kind of meaningless since it only gives like a few seconds. But I feel like with Jack of all trades, the haste will add up and it will be tens of seconds. And that's very big. The reason I avoid going Relentless Hunter is because I feel like uh, I feel like roaming is, I don't know, punished more now. I don't know why. Um, it's just that whenever I leave bot lane, even like they should be fine. Like I leave them in a good state, right? They'll end up dying, and it's just not good for the game. Even if you're like initially, let's say you give your ADC 2 kills, right? You're like, okay, they'll be fine. You know, if they need to, they just need to concede the wave or whatever. They can just play safe, but they don't. They will always die. They will always die without you, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it to do like low reward, high risk, or medium risk, or like just like low reward roams. Um, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the risk. I've lost so many games where I win lane, I just fucking roam, and I would try and get like my mid laner ahead or whatever. But what ends up happening is my mid laner will probably tilt. They'll probably play bad. They'll probably just fucking do nothing, and because they value XP over like tempo or like small advantages that I can get them, they'll get tilted and it's just not good. Like my bot will be tilted, my mid will be tilted, my jungler will be confused. They might just force a 2v2 or and then get counter getting bot when I'm mid or whatever. But don't get me wrong, this season, this meta, roaming is fucking OP. It's essential. Uh, but you don't want to over roam. You only want to roam like 1 or 2 times during laning phase for impact. Okay, you want to catch the enemy off guard and throw them off balance without tilting your teammates. Or because you can't rely on these teammates to play properly when you are roaming. Uh, so yeah, that's why I don't take Relentless Hunter. Plus, Pyke is already extremely mobile, and I just don't think he needs Relentless Hunter, especially when he has access to boots early, which leaves Ulti Hunter as the best out of those three. Now, speaking of boots, uh, before I would go free boots and jack of all trades because I was like free boots, 300 free gold, duh, right? But I ran Biscuit Jack of all trades on Pyke support by accident because that was my ADC rune, and I realized, holy shit, you know, boots actually gives me one extra jack of all trades stacks because boots gives you flat movement speed, and Rectrix, which builds into Yomu's, gives you percentage movement speed. So those are two different stacks. And boots is only 300 gold, which you can buy extremely early. Now, if you buy boots extremely early, you don't need Relentless Hunter, because usually when I go Relentless Hunter, I avoid um, going boots if possible. I would like rush Yomu's or something, because I already have Relentless Hunter's movement speed. But yeah, so I realized, holy shit, I've been restraining myself from getting one free Jack of all trade stacks, and you could be thinking only one stack, why does it matter? Well, it matters because it gets you to your fifth stack that much faster. It's 300 gold for one stack, which is extremely nice. It's like the free stats from ability haste, armor, or MR, or attack speed. Boots falls under one of those categories for one quick free stat or stack. Not only that, not only that, but by going biscuit delivery, I also was able to realize that biscuit now gives you max HP instead of mana, and biscuit restores percentage missing health, but much faster now. I think it's like under 10 seconds or whatever. So it's this what this means is each biscuit will give Pyke 2 free AD instead of the max HP because of its passive. So you'll be getting 6 free AD from biscuit delivery alone. And now we talk about Jack of all trades. You have to understand how Jack of all trades works. It will completely alter your build paths because your build will revolve around Jack of all trades, but you also don't want to tunnel your build into Jack of all trades. Say, for example, Mercs, right? It gives three free, well, not free, but it gives three Jack of all trades stacks. Uh, Very nice compared to other boots, you know, because other boots will only give you two stacks or one stack, uh, or whatever, you know. But Jack of all trades, but Mercs, it gives you uh, flat move speed, that's one, MR, that's two, and tenacity, that's three. If you compare that to like uh, steel plates, um, I don't know what it's called, ninja tabbies, whatever the new name of ninja tabbies is. Uh, that only gives you two stacks, right? Armor and then flat move speed. Or Swifties only gives you movement speed, I think, right? Um, but Mercs, it gives you three free stacks, three stacks. But if they're all AD, then what, right? Obviously, your Mercs is like diminishing return. So just be mindful of not being set in stone with your build when running Jack of all trades. Yes, there are efficient build paths to get, 10 stacks, early, as fast as possible. But you don't want to do that if that means going mercs into a full AD team or no CC team. You still want to build properly, and then you just have to know your options. What other items can I build without mercs to get 10 stacks, right? Even if you have to delay it, it's totally fine, right? Just understand that the ability haste that it gives is very nice as well. It doesn't have to be 10 stacks. But ideally, you want to reach 10 stacks when you're full build. Ideally. Because why run it, right? Um, so yeah, at 5 stacks, the way Jack of all trade works, by the way, is each unique stat an item gives you will give you one Jack of all trade stack. Each stack gives you one ability haste, and at 5 stacks, you will get 10 AD for Pyke. Since it's adaptive force, you'll be building AD on Pyke. Uh, at 10 stacks, you'll be getting 25 AD instead, and 10 ability haste, right? But you'll be getting ability haste per one ability haste per stack of Jack of all trades at all times. And now for my adaptive or this what are these called? The stats thingies. I I recommend going double adaptive. Attack speed is not really recommended because it's mainly for wave clear. You'll have your attack speed from Killer Blaze, especially since it's buffed now. Uh, I don't think ability haste is better than adaptive force because you'll need as much AD as you can get early. Uh, or, but you'll also have to consider mid and late game, which is why I'm not going flat HP now. I'm going scaling. So after like level 6 or 7, I think you'll be getting more AD out of scaling than flat. And this is because a lot of my mid late games, I'm finding myself unable to solo kill people, especially if they have like some sort of shield or healing. Um, I'm just unable to execute them, even if I go Bloodsong, especially now that Bloodsong is nerfed, right? But in combination with Jack of all trades, biscuits, and scaling HP, you won't have these issues, right, occurring as much. Or like those few times that people regen out of your execute, that will happen so much less with scaling HP. So that's why I'm willing to sacrifice for AD laning for after like level 6, level 7. I'll have more AD instead to secure those executes so they don't regen out of my execute by 1 HP, or so they're not off from execute by like, whatever. Just so those um, scenarios won't happen as often. They'll still happen, but not as often. Uh, Especially with these two combined as well. Um, and then lastly, I will go over some items that will help you get 5 stacks, 10 stacks fast for Jack of all trades. So as support, you'll be getting 3 stacks right off the bat from your support item. So World Atlas gives you H. Where does the Okay, this doesn't tell you the stats for some reason, but I believe it's HP regen, mana regen, and flat HP, something like that. It gives you 3 stacks. Okay, and then boots, flat move speed. This shows me stats for some reason. Alright, that's 4 stacks. Okay, 4 stacks. But if you upgrade it, right, it's different. You get more stacks. But let's just leave it on boots. Okay. Rectrix. This will be these are your core items, by the way. Okay. Rectrix gives you AD percentage movement speed, different from the flat movement speed. Okay, that's 2 stacks, 3, 6 stacks. Okay, 6 stacks, and then actually let's go ahead and do mercs here. You'll be able to go mercs in most of your games. Maybe you'll face a full AD team once every like 15 games or whatever, but I'll go over that case after this. Okay, so 3 stacks, 3 stacks, 2 stacks, 3, 6, 7, 8. So already you have 8 stacks, right? Okay, 8 stacks. You go 1 lethality item, right? That gives you 9 stacks, and now for your 10 stack, it can be whatever, right? But ideally, I go an item with ability haste, right? Because glowing moat is only 250 gold, so you can get this early and upgrade it to whatever for your 10th stack. So glowing moats can get you, it goes umbro. Oh, you see it here, right? You can go build up into all of these. Build into these. So it's just like these are your staple recipe items, I'd guess. I could just do this actually. It's for the visual. Uh, but without mercs, you'll have to get another item. So, okay, these will be your staple items that you can like, build into anything you want, right? These are just recipe items, and whatever you need, you can just alter them, right? You can also go attack speed, but it's not that recommended. Um, you can't go with this because your support item gives mana regen. But these are most of the items that you can go. Recipe items. So 3 stacks, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? But if you go mercs, you don't need to buy this. You don't need to buy this. You'll just need to go mercs, and that gives you 10 stacks. If you don't want ability haste, you can go dagger, right? If you want ability haste, for some reason you don't know, you have to go lethality. Okay, so you can, if you don't want movement speed, you can go dagger. So it's interchangeable, but you get the idea now. And for an example build path, I would go, especially since Bloodsong has been nerfed, Celestial will be always a good pick. I'd say go, for most people, I'd say go Umbroglaive. Umbroglaive is cheap, you'll get your stacks earlier, you'll get your power spike earlier. Clearing wards is OP, but if you're in a position to 1v9, you want to have more fun, you want to do even more damage, uh, you want to snowball harder, you don't care about clearing wards, the enemy team isn't buying pink wards, whatever the reason, you want a more expensive item, you can go Hubris instead, okay? So it's either Umbro or Hubris for your ability haste. For your movement speed, percentage movement speed, it's gonna be Yomu's. You can always sit on Rectrix. You can sit on Rectrix and then you just go like, uh, you can go Rectrix into Hubris, Rectrix into Umbro, right? And then you can like build hell another legendary item, right? You can go fucking Edge of Night, right? This doesn't give you any like bonus stats. You'll just have to fit in like a claw farmer to make up for yeah, the lack of jack of all trades stacks. And then you can upgrade this to Yomu's whenever, right? Or you're missing two item stacks, right? Then you can upgrade it to static shiv instead, since this gives attack speed, AD, and move speed, percentage move speed. Static shiv is nice for wave clear. It can be a Tiamat alternative for jack of all trades. It's generally good if you need to like wave clear sideline, but you will find yourself doing less damage, so just keep that in mind. Okay, obviously there's gonna be mercs, right? In these scenarios where you have to go like steel caps, that's when you'll have to find, you know, those special items that will give you that one extra stack that you need, whether it be armor or attack speed or whatever. Um, same scenario for like if you go Swifties, instead of one you'll be needing two, so it'll be more tricky. But usually, even if you're going Swifties, for example, let's do a build here. You go Swifties, right? Then you go Rectrix, which builds into Yomus. So this is 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It gives you 8 stacks, right? And then all you need to do is build armor and MR, right? And what better item to go than Watchful Wardstone? This gives you armor, MR, and it complements, Umbroglaive for the late game as well. Uh, However, you can also go Locket, but Locket's build path is kind of wonky since it requires many item slots. And Kindle Gem isn't the best, but it does give you AD. But you won't get defensive stats instead because it costs 2 slots. But there's Locket. If you're rich, you can go Jack of all trades, armor, MR. So that will solve the issue. For example, if you only want MR, like their full AP or some shit, right? Okay, then you can go, Hex Drinker for anti-burst with AD. It's good in combination of Hubris. I didn't know until recently that uh, Hex Drinker, not Hex Drinker, but Maul. If you upgrade to Maul, it scales off of AD, your shield. So in combination of Hubris, it's a really fast shield. But another item I like is Kanik. It's just the best MR item for Pyke. But there's also Witsend, which is nice because it gives tenacity and more in attack speed. So this will give you three stacks of Jack of all trades as well, instead of just that MR. Um, yeah. So let's see. Is there any other items I want to talk about? Oh yeah. So if you do go Tiamat, you can also go Stridebreaker. This gives attack speed. Um, Items like Opportunity that won't give you extra stats can still be viable. You'll just have to be going, those 2 stats extra. It could just be 1 stack extra if you're building like mercs. Um, items like Opportunity, Edge of Night. Collector does give you crit, so that's also an option, but I don't recommend going Collector. I think that's about it. Oh yeah, and then there's Eclipse, of course. Eclipse, right? Also an item that doesn't help with your Jack of all trades stacks, but can still be viable. You'll just have to make up with an extra item or 2. And yeah, that is my current build. I think for Pyke, I'm currently banning Lulu, but Nami has been a pain in the ass lately as well. But I think Lulu is just more cancer. But yeah, that concludes the video. Bye.